Time for our international press review now here on France 24. Florence Villeneuve with us here in the studio today. And Dominique Strauss-Kahn, we were talking about it earlier in the French press review, but it's not dominating, but there's a lot of talk about it in the international papers as well.
There sure is. There's a lot of buzz about it. And we're going to start off with a piece by Maureen Dowd in the International Herald Tribune, which she calls When Predator and Fabricator Collide. Now, Maureen Dowd interrogates, she wonders, what is the moral of this Manhattan immorality tale? And she says, are the French always right? And it's interesting because she actually compares this Dominique Strauss-Kahn case to when America rushed into war in Iraq during the Second Gulf War. And she says that there was the same kind of rush in the judicial proceedings. And now there are these revelations that the maid lied. And she says that although law enforcement officials say that in private they believe that Dominique Strauss-Kahn did indeed sexually assault this maid, since the case relied on her credibility, all that's gone now. And she quotes Elaine Ciolino, a Times correspondent in France, who says that up until now the case was white versus black, rich versus poor, man versus woman, and now it's going to become a man who could have been the French president who's being taken down by this good-for-nothing woman who has ties with a drug dealer. And she quotes that when a habitual predator faces off against a habitual liar, the liar will most likely lose, even if it's the rare case when she's telling the truth. And I think it's also interesting to see how the international press is reacting to this Dominique Strauss-Kahn by looking at a cartoon also in the International Herald Tribune by Chapate. And you can see here, you see Dominique Strauss-Kahn leaving prison, and what he's being greeted with the red carpet and what looks like a presidential escort waiting to whip him off.
We shall see whether that comes true or not, shall we? Okay, the other story, which is in a lot of the papers, is the elections in Thailand.
Absolutely. We're going to take a look at the Thai press, actually, where you can see Yingluck Shinawatra and her trademark Y greeting. They're on all the headlines there. We're looking at the Komchak Luek. We're also going to look at Bangkok Biz News, where she's also on the cover. And she's also on the cover of the Bangkok Post, which is an English language paper in Bangkok. And it says that Yingluck Shinawatra is history in the making. And there you see her, you'll see her soon there, in a sea of journalists. Now, in their editorial, they say that she's a new face in politics. It's the first time that she's running an election, and she has to prove herself as a capable leader and not just a puppet with her eldest brother Thaksin pulling the strings. Now, she made several promises during her campaign. The first one was that if she was elected, people would get her, not her brother. She also said that she was going to alleviate the people's economic hardship, reconcile and not take revenge on the nation's political rifts, and also establish a neutral body to study how to end divisions within Thai society. Now, the article is worried that she might implement a populist economic reform, and also a lot of people are worried that she might grant amnesty to Thaksin.
I thought you were going to do some wonderful translating there. Luckily, there was an English version. The Bangkok Post, they're also taking a bit of a closer look at her dramatic rise to fame.
Yes, it's really interesting because it shows how she was transformed from a reluctant politician into an inspiring, confident leader. Now, she was initially dragging her feet to enter this race, but she changed her mind due to family loyalty. And it says that she won thanks to a brilliant marketing campaign that was scripted by a legion of political advisors, first and foremost her brother Thaksin. And it says that even her body language was re-examined, and we were seeing her there doing the traditional way, and it said that they had to change her way of doing that so it was a little bit more less formal and more in line with the people.
Okay, we've just got time for two more, so let's do the Wall Street Journal first, looking at how Thai politics are changing.
Yes, very quickly we'll take a look at this. It says that this election has really marked a change in the way Thai politics go. It says that this year people were elected on the basis of their party platforms and their personal appeal and not on patronage and vote buying. It says that supporters were mobilized by their view for the nation as a whole and not local politics, and that's a big change in Thai politics.
And really briefly, some booze for Will and Kate.
Absolutely. Now, Will and Kate, as you know, are on their very first official visit to Canada, and they were visiting Quebec, where they they received a warm, formal welcome at City Hall, but just a couple of streets nearby, there were 300 demonstrators who had a very different message. Now, they were waving blue and white Fleur de Lys Quebec flags and chanted for them to go home. Now, they're headed back into Anglophone Canada, where I think they'll receive maybe a warmer welcome.
Oh, poor Will and Kate. All right, Florence, thank you very much. That's Florence Villeneuve with the International Press Review today.